For nearly 20 years, my wheat farm had been my pride and my family's legacy. Every season represented countless hours of hard work, and this year's harvest looked like it would be the best yet. Just across the irrigation canal sat the exclusive country club managed by the local HOA. Most members ignored the farmers, believing golf courses mattered more than working land. Linda Brooks, the HOA president, had complained for years that my wheat fields ruined the luxury view from the clubhouse. She believed the countryside should revolve around her members. While others focus on appearances, I focus on protecting the land. Every irrigation gate and levee on my property had been carefully maintained for years. One afternoon, the HOA board arrived with another list of complaints. They claimed my farm lowered property values, but I reminded them my land existed long before their development. I ignored the arguments and stayed focused on the coming harvest. The wheat was nearly ready, and weeks of careful planning were about to pay off. Late one evening, an orange glow caught my attention. At first, I hoped it was just someone burning brush far away. Within minutes, the fire spread across part of my wheat field. Firefighters responded quickly, but hundreds of acres had already been damaged before the flames were contained. By sunrise, investigators had begun searching for the cause. Standing among the damaged crops, I knew someone would eventually be held responsible if the evidence told the full story. As storm clouds gathered overhead, I realized the coming days would test everyone involved. The truth and the consequences were only beginning to unfold. By the next morning, state investigators had arrived. They carefully documented every inch of the burned field, refusing to jump conclusions before reviewing all the evidence. Linda insisted the HOA had nothing to do with the fire, but behind closed doors, several board members looked far less confident than she did. Instead of acting out of anger, I met with my attorney. We agreed the facts would matter far more than accusations. At the same time, engineers inspected the irrigation system that protected both the farmland and nearby properties. Every gate had to be operating exactly as designed. Weather reports warned that several days of intense rainfall were approaching. Suddenly, everyone became interested in the condition of the levees. Fortunately, I had kept years of maintenance records. Every inspection, repair, and safety check had been documented long before the dispute began. As the storm approached, country club staff hurried to protect their property. The forecast suggested the coming rain would test every drainage system in the area. Rain poured for hours, and the canal steadily filled. Local emergency officials monitored water levels and coordinated with landowners throughout the region. County engineers reviewed every available option for managing the rising water. Any decisions would have to follow established emergency procedures designed to protect the greatest number of people. As the storm reached its peak, officials prepared to manage the floodwaters using the region's established flood control system. No one yet knew how the investigation or the weather would reshape the conflict. The county's emergency management team determined that controlled water releases were necessary to prevent widespread flooding across nearby homes and farmland. Every decision followed established emergency flood control procedures. Under official supervision, the flood control gates were adjusted to safely redirect the excess water. Protecting lives and critical infrastructure came before protecting golf courses or landscaping. The country club experienced significant flooding after the record-breaking storm. While property was damaged, emergency planning ensured that everyone evacuated safely without injuries. Linda watched the flooded fairways in disbelief. The landscape she had spent years trying to perfect had changed overnight because of forces far beyond anyone's control. The fire investigation reached its conclusion. Evidence confirmed that the blaze had been caused by unauthorized activity near the edge of the wheat field, leading investigators to identify those responsible. During the legal proceedings, the court reviewed maintenance records, emergency management reports, and the fire investigation. Facts, not rumors, guided every decision. With the case behind him, Jack focused on rebuilding. Fresh wheat began growing where the burned field had once stood, proving that patience often outlasts conflict. The country club also began rebuilding. Engineers redesigned drainage systems, so the property would be better prepared for future storms. Looking across the farm once again, I realized the greatest victory was a revenge. It was protecting what generations before me had worked so hard to build. Some stories end with anger. Mine ended with accountability, rebuilding, and a reminder that respecting your neighbors is always better than creating unnecessary conflict. If you enjoyed this HOA story, don't forget to subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another unbelievable HOA showdown. And tell us in the comments, where you watching from? We'd love to know.